Now, from Wish TV, this is The Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. Coming up tonight, basketball season is here, and football is getting closer to the state finals. In the Coach's Corner, Charlie Clifford is joined by the head coach of the Hamilton Southeastern girls basketball team. Plus, our athlete of the week is a two-time state champion and one of the top-ranked wrestlers in the country.
The ultimate goal is just to climb up that podium once again and win it, and then just be a leader.
We're all hyped up for a new episode of The Zone Extra right now.
Evening, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Charlie Clifford with you tonight on The Zone Extra. We are one step closer to the football state finals. What a week it was. Girls hoops action. The boys season starts on Monday in the Coach's Corner. As we mentioned, I am joined by the man who is now in charge of the Hamilton Southeastern girls basketball program. He didn't need much of a show and tell around the Royals campus. Ryan Satterfield is here. We'll get an update on the big change at HSE. Plus, wrestling season, we know you're underway as well. Our athlete of the week is looking for his third consecutive state championship. Cathedral's Zeke Seltzer, a new addition of the commissioner, Ask the Commissioner, I should say, is on the way as well with Paul Neidig at the IHSAA. And our battle for the banner, we are down to two. One walks away as the 2021 champs on Friday night at 11:08. Guerin Catholic Cathedral. Game on. Last Friday, regional championship night. This is Class 5A. Cathedral is officially one step closer to defending its state title. The Irish shut down New Pal in the second half. No points for the Dragons after the intermission. Irish by 16, also in 5A. Last year's runner-up, still alive. Zionsville knocking off Bishop Dwenger, advancing to the semi-state. And in 4A, for the third straight season, here we go. Mount Vernon and Roncalli meet again at the regional. It's the Marauders upsetting last year's state champs, 27-21. Took the lead in the second quarter, didn't look back. In 3A, Brebeuf, its third ever regional title. The Braves, no problem with Norwell, 29-point win. Last year's 6A runner-up, Westfield, you are one win away from a return to Lucas Oil Stadium. The Rocks were in Fort Wayne, rolled to a 37-14 win over Carroll, also in 6A. This was kind of the, oh my gosh, score of the night. Ben Davis over Brownsburg. The Giants open up with the first 32 points of the game. It ends up being a blowout over the Dogs, who had knocked off Carmel. Tomorrow night, they'll meet number one Center Grove on MyIndy TV 23. The Trojans scored two first-quarter touchdowns, both on special teams, beat Lawrence North by 10. After the game, head coach Eric Moore joined us live on The Zone for a FaceTime Friday conversation.
What a great high school football game it was tonight. Even with the terrible weather, the environment of the students from both schools were great. I thought the kids on both teams played so hard, but even on a cold night, when the Trojans needed to be hot, our defensive line got hot and made some great plays. The most important thing is we say it's all about us. The team that can beat Center Grove is Center Grove, and we just got to make sure we don't beat ourselves and just continue for the next and work hard just to win one more game. Just go 1-0 each week.
Quarterback Taven Jackson, defensive star Caden Curry, and of course, the highlight machine, Drew Wheat. Center Grove's absolutely loaded. Here are your breakdowns beginning in 6A. These are the matchups for semi-states. Maryville, Westfield, Ben Davis, Center Grove, Zionsville, Michigan City, New Albany heads up to see Cathedral. That game is at Tech. Elsewhere, 4A, Northridge, New Prairie, Mount Vernon. You got to go down, see Evansville Memorial, Gibson Southern and Tri-West, Brebeuf, Mishawaka, Marion, and finally rounding out in 2A and 1A, Andrean, East Side, Mater Dei, Cecina. Tri is going to go see Lutheran, and then Adams Central goes to North Judson. Meanwhile, we have some hoops to get to. It's week 3 of the girls' season. Central Indiana, plenty of representation in 4A as we begin to look at the polls. Let's start, though, with second-ranked Noblesville. 3-0 on the year. Last Saturday, the Millers hosted Garrett 16-1 first quarter run. That helps Donna Buckley's squad get out to a 14-point lead after the first quarter. Millers all night long. Ava Shoemaker, 18 points, leads the way. 4 different scores, scoring at least 16. That's how deep this Millers team is, 79-57. They meet state runner-up Brownsburg tomorrow night in a showdown in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference opener. Boys hoops, we're almost here, people. Action tips Monday night. Let's take a look back at how last season finished. Quick refresher courtesy of the Zone Extra. 4A, the star power on the court between Lawrence North and Carmel that night. Shamar Avance, now at Miami of Ohio. DJ Hughes, he played last night for Butler. Brian Waddell, he's over at Purdue. CJ Gunn, a future Hoosier. This game goes to overtime. Carmel, a 5-point win. Ryan Osborne, you're preparing to defend your title. Your thoughts against starting the new season Tuesday against Zionsville?
Our guys have done a good job competing against each other every day, watching film, making adjustments. They've accepted challenges. It's a veteran group. Returned some guys with pretty good experience, and they're doing a good job of bringing the young guys along. So the practices are competitive. Our hope is that we get better each week and kind of concentrate on ourselves, especially early in the season.
And it appears once again Carmel is the team to beat on paper. Let's go to the pool. High school swimming season. This has also arrived. The girls' season began earlier this month, while the boys officially get started this coming week. Carmel, again, not only the defending state champs, but also the defending national champions. And in gymnastics, practice begins this week across the state. Competition starting December 6th. Last season, Austin Dykes Franklin Central won the all-around competition at the state, as well as being co-champ on the floor exercise. Valpo is your defending state champion. Time for a quick break. When we return on the Zone Extra, we go over to their coach's corner, I should say. Head coach, HSE Hoops, Brian Satterfield, in the house tonight. And still ahead, he's one of the top wrestlers in the country. We will introduce to you our Athlete of the Week from Cathedral. We'll be back on the Zone Extra.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. The Coach's Corner, presented by Junk King.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. Charlie Clifford with you tonight. It is time to visit our Coach's Corner, a familiar face around Hamilton Southeastern. 2 decades with the boys team, and now he is in charge of what is a storied girls program. Brian Satterfield joining us tonight. Coach, great to see you. I noticed the stitch below the basketball. You've added a lady above the Royals.
I have, and very excited about it. I mean, the one thing that I take pride in is what, and I give a lot of kudos to Coach Huppenthal.
Sure.
I mean he's been there and done a great job with the program, and I think everything that he's done and tried to establish with it has just made this transition so easy.
Before we decide or get into why you made the transition, let's look at this team. You're 5 games in. You have a pair of sisters who are filling up the stat sheet. What's the pulse with the team right now? And tell me a little bit about the McAlusky sisters.
Well, I think, I'll go back to the summer. I mean, you always try and watch a little bit of film.
Sure.
And the thing that I think the team that we really wanted to do was try and get better at being able to take care and handle the basketball with some of the pressure that some of the teams in our section want to give us.
Right.
So we tried to take them out of the comfort zone. One of the things that we always talk about is be comfortable getting uncomfortable.
There you go.
And I think the one thing
that on a poster.
That's one thing that we do. We try to keep preaching. We keep trying to preach it. But the thing that they're trying to do is just get them so they get out there and we want practice to be tougher than what we see in a game.
Sure.
And I think that they've really bought in and been trying to work at it. As you mentioned, I think that we've got 3 starters back from last year. The 4th one, unfortunately, tore ACL, right. Ryan Veely, and she hasn't been able to play. And hopefully, there's an outside chance she gets back for the start of for the end of the year. But we just don't know. But I think with Michaela Henshaw and Olivia Brown and Riley McAlusky, those 3 starters coming back, they've just done a tremendous job for us from a leadership standpoint. And then now you add Riley's sister Maya. It's been fun to work with that group along with everybody else. We feel like we're trying to use everybody on our roster.
Good.
We feel like that everybody brings something to the table and just trying to build from that.
Well, you certainly have the vision. We know, look, 20 years on the boys' side, 3 regional appearances. We all remember Gary Harris' shot, North Central 2012. the list of accolades. We don't have enough time, unfortunately. And I think so many folks at home are curious, why make the transition to the girls' side? What was behind that, Coach?
Well, a lot went behind. I mean, Coach Hupp, he hinted when he was going to do it that, hey, you interested in doing this? And I thought about it for a second, but wasn't
sold.
Wasn't sold.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing, I think, the more I thought about it, with my daughter coming up, I was going to miss a lot of her games.
Yeah.
Just miss some of those opportunities. And I thought back to, I talked to my dad, who was a high school football coach, then he was a principal, and during my senior year of high school, with my with my brother also playing next to me, at times he was a principal at Tri-West, but when they would have home games, he would have to miss some of our games.
Yeah.
And that was the thing with us playing on, boys and girls playing on the same nights, I was going to miss a lot of those opportunities. And so, I mean, that had a lot to do with the decision, but you know what? To me, it's been a blessing. I think it's been nice to get that little change.
Yeah.
But also just jumping into and working with the group that we have here, it's been fun, and just love the challenge.
Well, let's get behind Coach Satterfield's crew. This is when you can catch the Royals coming up. We were joking off air. The schedule does you no favors early, Coach. Okay, Franklin Central, then you're going to see the Dogs. We know Carmel and Noblesville back-to-back. That's a gauntlet. Best of luck here in the early going. Look, also as we kind of reflect on your boys' tenure, and I want to do this quickly, toughest part about saying goodbye to the boys, and as we look at some highlights from last season, what was that goodbye like, if you could share that in 30 seconds?
Oh, that was really challenging. I mean, you loved everything that we did and was working with them, but trying to let them know that, hey, I'm going to make this move over. But the best part about it is Coach Ashworth has taken over.
Yeah.
I think the program's in good hands, so hopefully they can build up. As I left there watching the scrimmage, I loved just the way that they got out there and they were competing today against Ben Davis. So hopefully they got a bright future.
See, that's the truth. There's nothing worse than handing over the keys and showing over practice and being like, what are we doing in here? That's not the case. Coach, great to see you. You're always a friendly face on the sidelines, and we can't wait to follow you during your opening season on the girls' side.
Appreciate you having me.
You got it. Still ahead on the Zone Extra, it's our athlete of the week. He is a two-time state champ on the mat, has not lost a match since his freshman year. Up next, Cathedral's Zeke Seltzer. You will get to know Zeke. Plus, our play of the week. We're down to 4 in each high school playoff bracket. This is when legends are made. We'll be back on the Zone Extra.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. It's time for our Athlete of the Week. Wrestling season's underway. One of the nation's best high school wrestlers comes from right here in Central Indiana. Cathedral senior Zeke Seltzer hasn't lost the match for the Irish since finishing as the state runner-up at 113 back his freshman year. 2020, Seltzer unbeaten, state champion at 120. Followed it up this past year, another perfect season at 126. Heading into his final year at Cathedral, Seltzer, #1 wrestler in the state at 132, committed to wrestle next fall at Missouri. But before taking that step, one goal left with the Irish.
Well, the ultimate goal is just to climb up that podium once again and win it, and then just be a leader and leave my legacy in Indiana wrestling. A lot of these guys have been together for a long time, like 10 plus years, and just I love these guys, and I want to be their leader and just make them much better.
He's a guy that we can count on the mat and off the mat. He came in as a freshman, a highly regarded freshman, and the kids took to him right away. They saw the way he worked, they saw his dedication, and kids are building off that. They're feeding off Zeke. They see how everything that he does and what it takes to become a champion. He's again one of those wrestlers that can do pretty much on all aspects, whether it's his feet or on top or on bottom. So he'll be one at the top, and looking forward to this year, but also years to come with him.
I just like getting out there, just rolling around, having fun, taking kids down, and just having fun with it. It's the most important part.
Congrats to Zeke. I love Coach McGinley, too, in the background of that interview. You can hear him yelling out orders. There are no breaks at Cathedral Irish wrestling practice, even when the Zone Extra shows off. That was a cap tip right there. Time for a break. When we come back, our play of the week, plus it's the latest installment of Ask the Commissioner. Paul Neidig of the IHSAA. There's a special twist with this one, too. We'll be back.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
This is the Zone Extra. Charlie Clifford with you this evening. It is now time for our Ask the Commissioner segment. Each week, we take one of your questions right to the top of the IHSAA, and we know Commissioner Paul Neidig, plenty to be thankful for this time around. Here's the spin on this week's question. With Thanksgiving just a week away, what food would we find on Paul Neidig's Thanksgiving plate? Mr. Commish.
Oh my, I think you can look at me and think there's probably all options available at the table are on my list. But, it's pretty traditional for me, that dressing. And sometimes we get a little extra oyster dressing made and the turkey. But I also like rounds 1 and 2 of Thanksgiving Day. We get the opportunity to enjoy it twice in a day. And I think that just means we're spending more time with family. And I think at the end, all that food's wonderful and special, but it's a time to sit back, relax, and enjoy family over an extended period of time. And that's one thing that I'm thankful about for Thanksgiving Day. And I'll always love my food, but the family part of it's just most special for me.
Mr. Commish, we love you, and that entire answer is an example why. Send us your question. Use hashtag the Zone Extra and hashtag Ask the Commission. You can be on our future show. Now, one of our favorite parts of covering high school sports is the passion that we've seen so vibrant throughout the fall, not only at high school football, but really across all sports this season. The Zone Championship banner going to the school in Central Indiana with the best school spirit. We have reached the final week. This is presented by Crew Car Wash. Only one champion gets this massive banner to hang at their school. And this is where things stand. We will announce our winner tomorrow night at 11:08 on The Zone. The Irish of Cathedral have never won runners-up once in 2016. Garin Catholic trying to become the first ever 2-time champs of the Zone 8 banner. You got to join us live for this announcement. It's going to be absolute bedlam. Both schools this week bringing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, he wants the banner. Tell me he wants the banner. He wants the banner. Let's go.
300 pounds of weight on a barbell and 300 people in an auditorium. Well done. Now it's time to take a look at our play of the week. Each week, we find the top play from the high school sports world in Central Indiana. We give it to you, and you can also send us your top play. We'll get to that in a moment. First, this is it, folks. Ben Davis hosting Brownsburg. Giants 4th and 11, Jawan Swanson. That is Dylan Moore. That was a key play in what turned out to be a Giants blowout victory. Needed it on 4th down. Swanson gets it done. He's been lights out. Now, we want to see your plays too. You can be submitted. I should say your play could be featured. Just use the hashtag #TheZoneExtra. Watch next Thursday night. Boom, you got it. We're done. We're there. It's that easy. Now, looking ahead, huge night without needing to even say it. Semi-states across the state. We're one away from Lucas Oil Stadium. AC is going to be live at Center Grove 5 and 6 on Friday evening. Our Zone tailgate. One more for the road, the Trojans showdown with Ben Davis. Plus, we will have highlights of every single team in action in Central Indiana on The Zone beginning at 11:08. Let's take a look at some of the notable matchups. Maryville, Westfield. Can the Rocks return to the promised land? Cathedral, the expectation is the Irish. You're going to march on as well. That's why you play the game, though. Mount Vernon coming off the upset win over Roncalli. Rebuff, can you get it to Lucas Oil Stadium? And then Tryon Lutheran. We haven't forgotten about you either, I should say. Excellent night here. Thank you to Coach Satterfield. All the best to the Royals girls basketball program this season. For Charlie Clifford, Brian Eckstein, executive producer, and the entire Zone Extra staff, have a great night.